Hello there, you're now with me, Cheryl Shaminato, for TVS News at 5. Let's begin with the headlines. Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Aziza Maimuna Iskandaria Sultan Iskandar arrived at Kuching International Airport at 12 p.m. early today. Her Majesty's arrival was welcomed by the wife of the Premier of Sarawak, Puan Sri Dato' Ahmad Jumaani Tun Tuanku Bujang, and the Minister of Women, Children and Community Welfare Development of Sarawak, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah.
Also welcoming Her Majesty was Assistant Minister in the Chief Minister's Department, Law MA63 and State Federal Relations, Dato' Sharifah Hasidah Syed Aman Ghazali. Her Majesty has just officiated the Keringkam and Songket Gallery at 3 p.m. this evening. Tonight, Her Majesty will also attend a dinner at the Sarawak State Assembly Dun with state dignitaries. Tomorrow, the Raja Permaisuri Agong is expected to visit the Puncak Borneo prison complex.
The state government, through the Ministry of Utilities, has formulated detailed plans to ensure that there will be 100% clean water supply coverage throughout the region. Its Minister, Dato' Sri Dr. Stephen Arundi Uttam, said his ministry continues to strive to its task to ensure that the plan is successful and timely.
Kementerian sedang bersama-sama dengan Sibu Water Board, Kuching Water Board, Laku Management, Sdn Bhd dan Jabak telah merangka strategi dan mencadangkan projek-projek untuk mencapai visi kerajaan yang dipimpin oleh Premier Sarawak melalui kementerian kita, bekalan air 100% menjelang tahun 2025.
Dr. Rundi revealed that 89% of the rural areas have successfully received clean water supply, while in urban areas, the said facilities has reached 99%. On another note, Dr. Rundi also stressed that his ministry has given emphasis to the conservation of clean water resources, particularly involving the coastal area of Sarawak.
Sebagai penyedia perkhidmatan dan dengan media sosial yang mudah diakses, kita akan dapati bahawa mana-mana kesilapan ataupun perkara yang ada kaitan dengan bekalan air akan cepat disalurkan melalui media sosial. Jadi oleh itu jugalah maka kita di kementerian dan di semua agensi dan jabab sentiasa peka kepada apa yang disalurkan, maklumat yang disalurkan melalui media sosial, terutama sekali perkara yang berkaitan dengan bekalan utilities.
Previously, Dr. Rundi said the ministry has allocated 8.28 billion ringgit to implement 606 water supply development projects in the state from 2017 to 2021. He said the implementation of the projects relied on two strategies, the Sarawak Water Grid System and the Sarawak Alternative Water Supply Program SAWAS.
And now on to the next update. Sarawak Islamic Council today announced its new standard operating procedures in preparation for the transition to endemic phase next week, of which the use of face masks is still obligatory at mosques and suraus. However, officials on duty to sound the azan and to lead prayers will be exempted from this ruling. Similarly, the Unit for Other Religions, or UNIFOR, also published its new guidelines, which removed the limit on the number of attendees for non-Muslim houses of worship from April 1.
The new SOPs allows khatib berkhutbah as well as lectures and forums to be held in mosques or surau. Earlier on March 22nd, the council had announced that Friday prayers, fardu, sunat, khutbah and wirid after prayers are allowed without the need for physical distancing. Meanwhile, the management and burial of non-COVID-19 related remains are permitted but with physical distancing. Similarly, the Unit for Other Religions UNIFOR will also lift the cap limit on the number of attendees for other houses of worship as well as funeral and burial ceremonies starting April 1st. Nonetheless, physical distancing will still be required at all times. The same set of SOPs is also applicable for the upcoming King Ming Festival, in which face masks must be worn and attendees must wash and sanitize their hands, as well as maintaining their physical distance. Meanwhile, funerals for COVID-19 positive cases are still subject to the SOPs issued by the Ministry of Health.
The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, KPDN-HEP, has assured that it will investigate every case of excessive price increases in detail and comprehensively at every stage of distribution to prevent profiteering activities.
Its Deputy Minister Dato' Rosol Wahid said every complaint of unreasonable price increase would be investigated, starting from manufacturers, wholesalers, distributors and retailers to find out the cause. He said as country with an open economic system, the price of goods was determined by demand and supply factors, and traders could determine any change in the price of goods. But it was subject to the enforcement of the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011. In addition, more than 2,200 enforcement officers with the assistance of about 1,000 price monitoring officers will monitor business activities at Ramadan bazaars nationwide this year.
Welcome back. And now on to the next highlight. All COVID-19 vaccine candidates that are being developed in the country have yet to be commercialized. Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ahmad Amzad Hashim said the vaccine candidates must undergo research and development or R&D process, clinical and preclinical studies before they can be done so.
Tiap langkah penghasilan vaksin perlu mematuhi peraturan dan piawaian bahagian regulatory farmasi negara, NPRA dan juga di peringkat antarabangsa.
He said this in a response to a question from Senator Datuk Paul Igai, who wanted to know the current status on the manufacture of local COVID-19 vaccines, as well as the list of vaccines that have been developed and commercialized by Malaysia. Ahmad also added that the country was currently developing two types of COVID-19 vaccines, namely inactivated and messenger ribonucleic acid or mRNA vaccines. On the production of the inactivated vaccine, he said it was now at the preclinical study phase and that the proof of the concept study, which started in February 2022, was expected to complete by July 2022, following which data analysis would be conducted and completed by end December this year.
Yang kedua adalah teknologi vaksin berasaskan mRNA yang mana ia berada di peringkat makmal, iaitu in vitro transcription ke atas cell culture. Dengan izin, pertama yang telah bermula pada Jun 2021 dan dijangkakan siap pada Disember 2022. Sekiranya pembuktian konsep kedua-dua vaksin ini berjaya, pelaksanaan penghasilan vaksin ini akan diteruskan melalui makmal yang telah diakreditasikan sebagai Good Laboratory Practice GLP dan Good Manufacturing Practice GMP.
Youths play a vital role in revitalizing development in the country, as they have potential to be our future leaders. As such, the Sarawak Youth and Sports Ministry will continue to eradicate efforts in supporting Sarawakan youth through activities which can bring benefit to all.
Deputy Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Dr. Ripin Lamat said the ministry will join efforts with youth associations in Sarawak to enhance and empower these target groups, as this will bring a big impact by the support from his ministry.
Jadi kita amat mengalu-alukan Persatuan Islam Belia yang ingin menganjurkan program, dan sudah pasti kita di kementerian akan membantu dan menyokong setiap program yang dianjurkan. Jadi di mana kita akan membantu, kita boleh bekerjasama dengan setiap persatuan. Saya kisahlah bidang sukan ataupun sukan juga lah, sukan memancing sama ada sukan bola sepak, badminton kah, ataupun yang lain-lain, yang aktiviti lasak ataupun sukan biasa. Jadi kita akan sentiasa bekerjasama dengan semua persatuan Islam Belia di negeri Sarawak.
He said this during his speech at the closing ceremony of the Sarawak Active 2022 fishing competition organised by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development Sarawak in Miri Division in collaboration with the Kampong Pujut Youth Association.
The Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development will study the proposal to impose a community service of between 100 and 150 days as punishment against individuals found mocking persons with disabilities, PWDs.
Its Deputy Minister, Datuk Siti Zailah Muhammad Yusof, said the ministry believed that the proposal should be implemented as community service programs outline three main elements, namely punishment, rehabilitation and repentance.
Perbuatan mengutuk, menghina, mencaci bentuk tubuh seseorang adalah satu kesalahan jenayah dan boleh diambil tindakan undang-undang. Namun, pewujudan remedi dan penalti yang munasabah bagi menangani isu-isu tersebut seperti yang telah dicadangkan memerlukan penelitian lanjut daripada aspek perundangan.
She said the offence could be investigated under Section 233 in bracket 1, subsection A, subsection B of the Communication and Multimedia Act 1998, Section 504 of the Penal Code and Section 14 of the Minor Offences Act 1955. On the proposed PWD Commission, Siti Zailah said currently any complaints, appeals and petitions related to disabled rights violations could be addressed to the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia Suhakam and other existing laws. Meanwhile, on the status of the PWD Action Plan 2016-2022, she said KPWKM was reviewing the achievements of the programs and actions under the plan based on the feedback received from lead agencies.
Well, that concludes TVS News at 5. For more updates, don't forget to tune in to 11:30 Nightline tonight. Here with me, Shal Shamato, and I'll see you tonight. Have a good evening.